And as I choke and cough, we are live. And it is 30 with Karen and Justin. And today we have a pretty incredible guest. We're honored to have a very special guest joining. WhiteEagle Stonefish is a respected Indigenous spiritual healer and elder, a survivor of the 60s scoop, and the daughter of the residential school survivors. She's dedicated her life to sharing Indigenous teachings, sacred ceremonies, and a path of healing rooted in connection, truth, and reconciliation. And we're looking forward to listening about WhiteEagle's story and what she has to share about her experiences, wisdom, and perspective. I think the interesting part is, about us being on this show today, is that I think everything kind of just happens for a reason, and we kind of all just sort of fall into place. Things fall into place, and interestingly, recently I had a house I had to sell that had some stigma around it, and WhiteEagle came out. This is how we sort of met, because through the circles of people that I know and she knows, we connected together to be able to get together at this house and actually cleanse this house and help the spirits of the house move on from their place that they were. And really, at the end of the day, it was an incredibly moving experience for me to be a part of something like that, first of all. But second of all, you know, it opened a little bit of an interesting door to what spirituality looks like in different cultures for me, because I've never really taken the time, I don't think, to explore that in a lot of ways. And I don't know, maybe I'm sheltered and maybe I've just been so busy with my life. But the indigenous culture that's been here for as long as it has, it is the first one. So thanks for coming on, WhiteEagle. And I'm so cool. I'm so excited, and it's so cool that you're on and we're talking today.
I think that day that we met was pretty, for our first meeting, it was pretty intense, I think, but it was a good
Yeah.
way in which we got to know each other really quick,
Yes. Yes, it
really
was.
quick. So it was actually, it was a good healing day. It was a good day. Um,
It
yeah.
was. I mean, I had some things that were connected to this situation happening that I felt really kind of were dragging me down, and going through that, you know, um, has helped even just me feel, at peace with the situation in a lot of ways, even though it was a very terrible thing. And what's also I take a lot of pride and honor in is being able to carry the spirit of that day forward and be the
Mhm.
bearer of that spirit, so I can allow that person to move on. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
been it's I'm trying to work around it because I really don't want to give too much information because of
Nope.
privacy and so on.
Yep.
But it was a very difficult day, and we came together, and we really did. I mean, we laughed, we cried, there was everything in between, right? Like, it was amazing.
Yep. Yep. And the universe, it's funny because the universe, God will move in ways in which um, helps our spirit grow. And so, meeting you in that way, you and your wife, I felt when I left that day, I felt kind of blessed. Like I felt very blessed and very honored that you trusted somebody who you didn't really know, but you did because you've heard of me,
Mm.
and trusted the people who brought me in to see you. So that was a
Mm.
good thing.
Well, I think we all live a lot like that. We live on the recommendations and the trust of others.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm old school, but if your word is your bond to me in a lot of ways, right? And when someone says, "Oh, you got to call WhiteEagle," and it's someone who I genuinely look at in that way,
Yep.
I'm calling WhiteEagle. Like, there's no one else at that point, right? And so that's how I built my business over the years, and that's how I run my life, going forward. And sometimes it bites you in the butt.
Yep.
Sometimes you trust the wrong people too quickly, but at the
Yep.
same time, more often than not, good things happen from these situations.
Yep.
And we definitely pulled off something that I think was pretty incredible and healing for all of us involved in that situation, quite frankly, and the community
Yep.
as well.
Yep.
So now talk to me a little bit about, like, how you've helped others, because I know, like, I'm not the only one you've done this for, or similar things. This is kind of your thing. What is the role of an elder in your community in that regard?
So the role of an elder um, is simply to bring people together, to help people to heal. For my thing is that I'm a healer. So because I'm a healer, and I take it very seriously. Um, it's my job to help lift people up. I'm like your cheerleader. I'm like your mega cheerleader. But at the same time, there are times when you can't, um, it's like you can't always lead a horse. Like you can always lead a horse to water, but it doesn't mean that you can always make them drink.
Right. Right.
And so this is something that I've had to learn with myself, being an elder, and more importantly, a healer,
Mm.
is that to not um, get stuck on the ones who refuse, but to then applaud those that are able to move. But even the ones who are slow moving, I still hold them, right? I still hold them up, and I still pray that they will be able to take that first sip. And most people actually do. Um, so as a healer, um, because it skips a generation, and
Mm.
so technically, my mother had the healing gift, but when I was small, she knew that I was going to have a very difficult childhood, and she felt that I was going to have a very rough adult life, for that matter, too. And so, for the very last time when she was holding me, she touched me, and she transferred her gift into me, because she knew that I was going to need all of the energy and the power that I would need to get through what I was going to go through, which
Mm.
was 12 foster homes, 3 group homes. I suffered from suicidal ideation, PTSD. There's autism there, um, and who knows what else. For myself, though, um, I have done an incredible amount of healing over the years, and I'm at a point in my life where I can lead in a very good way and in a very strong way. I've sat with many elders over my years to learn more about walking the red road, being Indigenous, being part of the community, and knowing where my spot is. So what I mean by that is that we are taught that we have a gift. Every single person on this planet has a gift, and not everyone, there's not one person who is the same. Even though you would think that there's not one person on this planet who is the same, that thinks the same. Yeah, in some ways, maybe in some areas we may think the same thing, right? But more importantly, we all have a gift. And so if we stay within our gift, we will flourish and we will live with intention.
Mm.
Now, intention to me is about taking full 110% responsibility for your feelings, your emotions, your spiritual, your cellular, and your physical health.
Mm.
Now, if you take care of the mental health, especially the mental and the emotional, everything else will be a little bit easier to deal with.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So currently, I help people who suffer from suicidal ideation. And I'm big on mental health. I'm big on, so like for instance, I run a healing circle, a healing talking circle during the winter. And then there's 2 times during the year that I do the suicidal ideation, because August and February are the 2 months in which suicide is at its highest.
Mm.
Now, August is the month because like summer, it gives you all hope, right? In the spring comes and you have all that hope, and you're like, I don't know, you're just living the life, right?
Yeah, you're
And
feeling
then,
excited. It's warm out. The
yeah,
sun's out. It's good, right?
right. And then the thought of fall and winter starts to come in, and then during that time it's like your energy starts to fall, and the hope and the faith starts to go away just a little bit. So then August is when when it's one of the highest times for suicide. February, well, because just after Christmas. Now you would think that it'd be during Christmas, but no, during Christmas you are you have that hope and faith again, right? And then after Christmas, well, then it goes away, and then January, by the February, it's practically gone if you suffer from suicidal ideation.
Yeah.
So
you work with folks to kind of just bring their mind forward, ground them, get some like spiritually, things like that. Is that the idea?
Yeah. So for me, I like to also teach about the 7 generations behind, and then the 7 generations before, like they're coming up. So with that, um, we teach our young people to live their lives and to think of the next 7 generations. So that would include like climate change, all the animals, all the plants. So you live your life in accordance to making sure that the next 7 generations are able to survive and carry on. And so for me, I have 2 generations, meaning my children and my grandchildren. And so I'm constantly thinking of ways in which when I pass, they will be able to carry the baton forward, if you will.
Sure.
Right? And it's not always easy because we have so many things that are going on this planet right now. Homelessness is up. Drug use is at an all-time high. Suicide's at an all-time high. And so there's all these different things, politics, there's all these things that we are currently navigating. And, we're living in times that at times are very dark. You not only then have to think about your family and making enough money to buy food and shelter and clothing, but then there's all this stuff that dribbles in,
Yeah.
And so I have people who ask me quite often, so with everything that's going on in the world, how is it that you maintain it's still in a good way? Because I got to say, I experience a lot of moments that are joyful. A lot of moments that are joyful. I have a cat that's trying to get in the door.
It's okay.
He's like on the other side of the door.
That's fine.
So I find, and hello, I'm Karen Paul. How are you?
My mom.
Hi, Karen.
It's so wonderful to meet you because Justin has spoken so highly of you in regard to what happened with the situation on a house that you attended.
We just mentioned that at the beginning, and we're keeping that a little more private.
But I agree with you. It's you don't hear enough laughter in the world. You don't hear enough good news, happy news. And people are not getting together as much as they used to,
Yep.
So I find that it brings a lonelier life for every generation. And so the other thing is that I find that social media has done a lot of damage to the younger people.
Yep.
I agree.
So how do we navigate that? Because look at that, we're here on social media because we know that we're going to reach more people.
Yeah, but we're laughing.
Right? And all we can do is educate the young on really good behaviors from when they are like from 0 to 5, because by 0 to 5 they have already gotten onto a device. They're probably in social media somewhere, gaming or whatever. And that's just how it is right now, right? A lot of people don't really want their children to be out and playing in the streets like how we did when we were kids.
Yeah.
Because of all of the crime and more importantly, all of the children that are being scooped up and taken away. So and that's a very real fear. It's a very real fear, and it is something that we need to be more aware of. So so we all have to take moments in our day to find happiness, to be in that happy place. And we also have to be in that place of like, wow, I am super bummed today. And so for instance, like if you get diagnosed with a disease, okay? Now, if you get diagnosed with a disease, how do you manage that? Well, it's definitely tough. It's very tough. But at the same time, it's doable, and it's something that people have been doing for centuries. And you still have to find those happy moments. And you have to even dig harder during those moments. But it's vitally important that at all times, when you live with intention, that you take responsibility for anything and everything that's going to come into your life.
Sorry, go ahead, Karen, you go first.
Okay. Are there any signs of, because I find a lot of younger people are committing suicide. I don't want to even say the words. And how are there signs for parents to pay attention to in regard to that aspect, and or is it just a hidden secret with that child?
So what I'm finding, because I'm doing this work and I'm working with people hands-on, is that women tend to they are more able to get in touch with their feelings and emotions. For some reason, we have made it okay for women to be able to express themselves. Men, on the other hand, not so much. And there is a difference in the way that that ideation takes place within the male and the female. Now, what I mean by that is that men generally, if they suffer from ideation, have made it okay, like they have made it factually okay for them to take their lives. And so they have reasoned in their brain, because they operate from the left side of the brain. Women operate from the right the majority of the times, okay? So men tend to be able to focus and make it like it's okay. And this is why it's higher within men, because they truly have factually made it okay. Women, on the other hand, will tend to reach out more.
Right.
And no, it's not something that you can actually always see. I mean, if someone says that they're going to hurt themselves, kill themselves, well, then you can act from that, obviously. But I hate to say this, but the majority of the time, when someone is going to take their life, it just snaps. It just snaps.
I think we hear this story all the time of, we never saw any signs. We never knew. This person seemed fine, right? And then suddenly, right?
So it's on society. It's on us to come up with different programming, perhaps, to get different things in place for children when they are in public school. Now, the one thing in public school that will destroy a child is bullying. And I know quite a few people who will say, well, that builds character. No, actually it doesn't. It does not build character. What builds character are elders and teachers and people in the healing places, right? Um, and as parents, right, being a good role model, you can help your child build lots of character. And more importantly, if we listen to our children between the ages of 0 and 5, you will know where they are headed as adults. So, like, for instance, I have 2 grandchildren currently who are major into art. I mean, and they draw like 24/7. So what does that tell you then, right? Like, if you don't know what your children are up to, then that just means that you're not watching them, right?
How, given the Indigenous background and whatnot, and the general connection to nature, right, when it comes to your culture and so on and so forth, which I don't feel that we have that same connection in the current society today as much as we used to. How important is it for mental health and being healthy that way to really get back to nature and really connect with the earth in that way? Because I know we've spoken a little bit about this in the past. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on that.
So that's a really good question. I love that question, and here's why. Because a lot of the times when I do my healing sessions, I'm actually out in nature. Okay, so I'll give an example. So the other night, I took somebody out to Lowville Park, did a session with them, walking around through Lowville Park, and we even got in the water.
Oh, beauty.
So, oh yeah, like hey, me and water. If I can get into water, I'm in it.
I love it.
Into Bronte Creek.
So it was Bronte Creek.
Yeah.
Up in Louisville. So nature is massively big at healing. So the majority of our ceremonies will be out in nature, is outside with fire and water, meaning we have a fire keeper who's keeping watch over the fire, and that fire keeps burning as long as we are in ceremony, meaning doing prayers or doing healing or just making a connection with the ancestors, making a connection with Mother Earth. And the biggest thing that I do every day, which is part of my culture, is I put tobacco down on the ground and I give thanks for the day. I'm offering that tobacco because the tobacco is what takes my prayer to Creator. And every day I do that. It's important that I do that because I'm acknowledging creation, I'm acknowledging nature. Now, the thing is with the Indigenous people is that we were the last to be invaded. We were the last for our rights to be taken away from us. So because of that, we still have that connection to Mother Earth. But at one time, your culture, whatever your culture may be, also had that same connection, right? So as years went by, it got watered down. It doesn't mean that you don't love nature. It just means that the connection isn't as strong.
There's concrete everywhere. You can't even touch nature half the time.
I know.
But I totally agree with that because you take children out into nature. So you have to know that I live in nature. I live on a 7-acre property in the mountains in Quebec, right?
Nice.
And I have 100 acres behind me. So every morning I go for a walk in nature. But children they are so afraid of insects and they are so afraid of situations out in nature that it's incredible. So it's concrete that they know, right? And Justin's right. It's just incredible.
It's funny, when I was a child, I was in so many of these very dysfunctional homes. My biggest thing was going out into nature, and that was my escape. And I wasn't afraid of no bugs. But hello, 61 now, And if I see a spider, I'm jumping. I know that is the one thing that I have not ever been able to embrace. I try, but I
That's
can't.
amazing. That's amazing.
Snakes are mine. I'm not really amicable to snakes. Like I
That's
know.
funny. That's funny. I've only come across one very poisonous snake in my day, and I was very lucky not to get bit that day because we walked right by it on a trail, and it was all of a sudden it started clattering away with that little rattle, and I was like, "Oh, geez, oh yeah, that's what that is." Yep. Okay, keep walking. But yeah, no. So as we finish up, as we come to the end of our 30 minutes here, um, you know, do you have like one or two strategies or thoughts about something that someone could do right now? Like stop watching this, shut it down, and go do one thing that might brighten their day today.
Yes, I can. Just when you say shut it down and sit with yourself by the window because of the air
The
quality,
air quality, yes. Don't go outside yet.
right? And look out that window and make a connection either with a tree or something that is right outside your window. And really look outside, because you know what, you're going to realize, oh, I never even noticed that before.
Right.
Oh my goodness, I never even noticed that before. And so much of the time we don't. And sit there and just be quiet. In other words, turn off the TV, turn off the music, because in the morning I start my day absolutely with no music, no TV, no nothing, just myself. And I take those about maybe 20 minutes to be able to just be by myself and be quiet. Yeah. And I sit there in my rocking chair, because I have a rocking chair, which is, I just bought, which is really cool. And I drink my tea and I give thanks. And that's the biggest thing, is I give thanks for my breath. I give thanks that I'm breathing, that I woke up, that I get another day, and I take responsibility. Now, it doesn't mean that I don't maybe perhaps, lose my crap during the day if I have to deal with my children or sometimes my grandchildren or other people. But what it does mean is that I'm probably going to be able to handle anything that's going to come my way.
Right.
So being grateful and thankful for your life every morning. And you can even do that when you turn off this.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're pushing up. Go ahead.
It's funny because I didn't go for my walk this morning because I was rushed in regard to another situation. And so and I've had a lot of situations today, come my way. And I'm sitting here and I'm going, yeah, that's so true. I got to go for my walk because it's going to calm me down. It's going to bring me down again, So
yeah, take your socks and shoes off though. And feel the earth.
I wondered about that. Yeah.
No, seriously. And that's what you can do. Even if you go do it for 5 minutes, 3-4 minutes, everyone take off your socks and shoes, because I already have my socks and shoes off, and go stand in your backyard or in the front yard, or if you live in an apartment, run downstairs, and you can still do it. Right? Like we can have access to nature anytime we want. We only have to choose it. We only have to choose it. And my suggestion would be, when you're doing that, pray for Mother Earth. Pray for the universe. Pray that we all come together, because that's where we're at now. We all need to understand that we are brothers and sisters, and it doesn't matter what color you are. It does not matter what color you are. We are all brothers and sisters living in this world under one creator, God, whatever you may call, whatever you call it.
Exactly. Well, on that note, I love it. That's a great way to end. White Eagle's amazing. We'll put some details on how to get a hold of her if you want to have a chat with her. She's incredibly generous with her time in a lot of ways, and is just a wonderful force for good which I think is the coolest part about it. If there's anything I've gotten to know about her, is she just brings this wave of kindness with her everywhere she goes. So always fun to hang around and be around. So thank you for coming on the show today. And
Thank
we
you.
will.
Thank you. It was lovely meeting
I'm
you.
going outside as soon as we're done here for sure.
Okay.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye.